Guys, what's up? It's me, your girl, Macy, back at it again with the Czirr Shit podcast. Sorry, I'm very tired. I've had a very long week. My allergies are kicking my butt for sure. So I do apologize if I sneeze a lot. Also, if you hear other noise, that's my TV in the background because I do not care for silence. So yeah. Ugh, dog hair. Today we are going to be talking about 3 other cryptids. Two of them are, well, I hope one of them I know for sure people know about, and the other one I hope people know about, just because it's been around forever. And then the third one, some people may know. I think people from this area would know this one. So the first one is going to be my all-time favorite one. No, I don't want to shake your hand. I'm sorry. No, please back up. No, stop. Sorry. Dog's in the way. It is Mothman. And I don't know why I have not an obsession, just a liking towards Mothman. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things where you're like, ooh, okay. Don't know why I like this thing, but I do. The other one, oh my god, the other one was in a horror video game, and if any of you have played this video game, you know. The other one is the Wendigo, which I also believe a lot of people should kind of know about the Wendigo, because I feel like it's a very popular cryptid as well. But if you played Until Dawn, the Wendigo is in that. And they are weird creatures. And then the third one is, I feel like because there is, I believe, a actual, person behind this one, I think, if I remember correctly, but this one's called the Bunny Man. Yeah. So, I guess we can start off with Mothman. And Mothman is it's depicted in multiple different ways. It's definitely part human, whatever it is, and it's obviously part moth. And some people describe it as having a human head, but with the moth eyes and the antenna and stuff. There's a head, a neck, obviously these gigantic wings. Some describe them as bat wings. A lot of people have described them to be, huge, like butterfly or moth wings. But obviously, they're not butterfly wings, because this would be called the Butterfly Man. Right? I don't know. Saying the Butterfly Man kind of, makes it sound like a creepy horror movie. Ugh. The Mothman is actually, there is a movie about it. I think it's called Mothman. What is it? It is Mothman Prophecies. Mothman Prophecies is what the movie is called. God. Tell you what. So glad the internet is here. Oh, it says it on here too. Oh my gosh. I'm not smart. Okay. So, Mothman's home is in the state of West Virginia, which has had its fair share of strange and often, inexplicable visitations of Flatwoods Monster and the Endrid cold? Endrid cold? INDRID, and then cold. But they say perhaps their weirdest creature that they're very mostly known for is the Mothman. I can definitely talk about the Flatwoods Monster and the other one in a different podcast. Absolutely. So it has actually, no ma'am, do not bug her. Sorry. It has made this small little, like, sleepy town a, like, sensation. Like, I don't know. Ever since, so this event, like, sightings and stuff, I assume, happened around 1966, which is in the 60s, and that's pretty, like, what? Like, it's been going on that long, you know? But yeah, Mothman is one of the most well-known cryptids in the world. Is made famous partially by John Keel's book, and then it was later adopted into a film called The Mothman Prophecies. And the Mothman is also hunted in Mountain Monsters on Destination America. So yeah, it is located at Pleasant Point, West Virginia on the map. Its type is known as like humanoid. First sighting was November 12th, 1966. Last sighting, unknown. There still could be sightings and stuff like that. But the pictures for it are not, like, that great, you know? They're not what you, like, some of them aren't that great, like I've described before. Some of them are pretty good, some of them are just not good at all. Like, one is, like, a furry, fuzzy beast-looking thing, which is not that great, you know? So, how the first sighting of Mothman took, it was near Selden, Clendenin, sorry. Five men were preparing a cemetery, or were preparing a grave in a cemetery. Oh my god, they weren't preparing a cemetery. Like, what? They're gonna go out and kill a whole bunch of people and create that cemetery? Gosh, get it together. For a burial that was supposed to happen, I'm assuming the next day or later on in that week. When they saw something that they absolutely could not explain at all. It was lifting off, like, from the top of, like, nearby trees, and it was like this brown winged creature is what they described it as. Bless you. That was not me, that was my dog. The men say that what lifted off beyond the trees was no bird. It was more like humanoid. It had human body features that what they could tell from. You know? The creature was sighted near many places across West Virginia and the surrounding states. The largest number of sightings happened near Old West Virginia Ordnance Works, which is known by locals as TNT area, which is an abandoned mutation. I don't think it's mutation, but whatever. Near north of Point Pleasant, which dates all the way back to World War II. The facility during the operations manufactured ammunition and dynamite. That's why it's called the TNT area. It's surrounded mostly by forest areas and grassy little clearings and thick concrete domes called igloos that were used to store barrels of gunpowder. Sorry, y'all. I had to go help make dinner stuff, so I was gone for a second. I do apologize. Sorry when your charger's about to fall and you're like, no, don't. It's not what I need you to do. Ugh, gosh. Sorry, I have one more. Oh, God. God. I'm so sorry. Freaking allergies. Ugh. Anyways, I was talking about these igloo things that held dynamite and gunpowder and like all that. The area is like also riddled with like abandoned tunnels, obviously, because they would store gunpowder, like barrels of gunpowder on there. Most of them have collapsed, been sealed off, become flooded with water. There is a wildlife sanctuary now that encompasses the area. So that's good. At least they found good use to the area. Anyways, back to it. In 1979, fishermen in the TNT area reported that chemicals had been left to seep into the ponds, causing it labeled as an environmental disaster. By the year 1983, the TNT area was among the country's most polluted sites. So, let's not pollute the world anymore, guys. Just kidding. Pollution's never going to, like, leave. Anyways, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Mothman, okay? In the TNT area on a cold November night on the 15th of November 1966, 3 days after the first sighting had took place, two young couples would have encountered this bizarre creature. Roger and Linda is their names, and they were driving Roger's black 57 Chevy Bel Air. Ooh, nice. And then there was Steve and Mary. Through there around midnight, when Linda noticed, like, two large glowing red eyes in the darkness, like, beyond, like, the North Power Plant. She had screamed. They soon learned that these eyes had belonged to something that looked human. About 7 feet tall, with the wings folded against its back. So the wings, like, weren't out, you know, so, like, they couldn't see the wingspan. They were, like, hunched behind its back. Roger had stalled in the road for, like, a minute, inspecting the strange creature. Then the four realized immediately that this was no ordinary bird. Then the true horror began. However, when the creature spread its wing and pursued them down Highway 62 to the Point Pleasant city limits at an exceeding speed limit of 100 miles per hour. So this thing was just flying, dude. Like, 100 miles per hour, not a fucking problem. Not a problem at all. The four arrived in town, like, confused, very startled. No sign of this mysterious bird that had chased them down there. Roger parked his car on the edge of town, and they all kind of like just like discussed this encounter with each other. Like, then eventually like deciding that what they saw was nothing more than an aberrant bird. And in an attempt to like face their fears, they again drove towards the TNT area. I'm sorry, but that's some white people shit, okay? I'm sorry. If I see something like that, I'm not... You know what? I might go back. Because I would do that white people shit. Because I like going into haunted houses and stuff, okay? And it's Mothman. Maybe I would do it for Mothman. Bigfoot? No. No. Bigfoot, not really my thing. Loch Ness Monster? Maybe. Mothman? That might be a definite. Anyways, what was I saying? They drove back towards the area. Okay. Right. And then it really wasn't that long before they saw the creature again, which was waiting for them beside Route 62. And they like realized that their stalker wasn't a bird. Like, why would it have been a bird before if it like looked like a human freaking okay. But when the car headlights landed on the creature, it lifted vertically up into the air, just like straight forward with tremendous speed, obviously, because it can keep up to 100 miles per hour, and disappeared above the tree line. Just whoosh, gone. What a mystery. We need to get Scooby-Doo in on this stuff. Mystery Inc. Incorporated get in on this. Anyways, they went into town to the Mason County Courthouse and told the sheriff their story. Sheriff George and Deputy Miller. 2 hours later, city police began investigating the area, only to return empty-handed. The next day, press conference was held, and local press began printing this story, causing others to come forward about previous and future sightings. Okay. This was like a very major event that started all, just the press pushing this story forward. You know? November 16th issue of Point Pleasant Register, the strange encounter would be brought to public eye with a headline, couple see man-sized bird, ... creature, ... something. Because you can't really explain that. Like, yeah, it has this wingspan, but it has this humanoid body. And then, like, you can't call it a bird. Maybe you could. I don't know if there's human-looking birds out there. Possibly. Who knows? You could call it a creature, because, I mean, you don't know what it is. But, I mean, yeah, something's pretty good, too. So, that encounter at the TNT area was, like, harrowing experience experience for everyone that was involved. In the morning of November 16th, 1966, Linda was rushed to the hospital by her father after experiencing a nervous breakdown. On the phenomenon, Roger stated, in quotations, "I'm a hard guy to scare, but last night I was for getting out of there." How people talk in the past, like, really amazes me. I was reading something in my history book, sorry, off topic, but I was reading something in my history book, and I had to reread it so many times because it said, if he knew, to him he knew. Like, I was like, what? What is this? Okay. What? All right. Anyways, okay, moving on. So the creatures just seen throughout this, Point Pleasant, whatever, this area for the next 13 months. And was estimated that there was going to be over 100 sightings within this time. Though it's identifiable reports, and the actual number of reports sightings may be quite lower. Mothman witnesses were also harassed by the men in black who wanted them to not speak about the creature. Yeah. So obviously this is like some FBI stuff going on. And the strange sightings seem to accumulate in the collapse of the Silver Bridge, which happened December 15th, 1967. So there are many similar creatures and cryptoids like worldwide. Obviously, the sightings are similar to Mothman in many ways. But it also includes impending disasters. Some of the places Mothman or its fellows has visited include Vorarlberg, Germany, where a Mothman-like creature scared miners away shortly before a collapse. So they don't really talk a whole lot about the collapse of the Silver Bridge. I know, like, there was just a lot of connections and stuff, Oh, and then, like, they also thought there were 2 Mothman pictures. This is so bad, especially since it's coming around this time, too. So horrible. There were 2 pictures taken in New York on 9/11 and multiple sightings before the Minnesota Bridge collapsed, too. Like, they're just what's the word I'm looking for? Connecting Mothman with, like, all these just horrible disasters that are going on. Which, like, it's so weird that no one's been like, you know what, I'm not even going to make this joke because it's too close. It's too much. Anyways, let's move on, please. Okay. Mothman is described as a bipedal winged humanoid, despite its name, which is given to him by newspapers. He is in no way moth-like, and has an appearance more of a large humanoid owl. So Owl Man? We call him Owl Man now? I don't know. It doesn't roll off the tongue as good as Mothman. His color variations from black, gray, even to brown, although, like, it's usually the darker shades of brown. He's often reported to be 7 feet tall with a wingspan of about 10 to 15 feet. Plus the ability to fly over 100 miles per hour, which we've already discussed before, right? Right. He's described as not having a head, which, like, I don't get how, like, things don't have a neck connecting into a head. I mean, I guess owls, but owls have a neck, though. Like, it's not definite, but I don't know. I guess that's why they would call it Owl Man or an owl humanoid, whatever. And it has 2 red glowing eyes set in the chest. In the chest area? Ugh. Well, along with being glowing, they are also reported to be at least reflective, too. Details of his face and feet have never been described, obviously, because everyone's freaking out that there's freaking eyes in this thing's chest. One witness who saw the face clearly could only say that the details were horrible and monstrous. She had terrible nightmares and nearly suffered a nervous breakdown. Kind of like Linda. I wonder if this was Linda. Anyways, people think it's a hoax. The photographs have been, made up and stuff, which, it could be, but, you let me know. You let me know, okay? Okay. I don't know. But that has been the Mothman cryptid. Which one should we do next? Should we do Wendigo or Bunnyman? Wendigo or Bunnyman? Wendigo or Bunnyman? Huh. You know what? We're gonna do the Wendigo next, because the Wendigo has been around forever. Okay? And you're about to find out why. Okay? So, the Wendigo. There is many different name spellings of it. I do not want to say any of the other ones because I feel like I will not upset people, but it won't sound right and I will never get it right. It originates from a Native American legend and is said to be a dementic half beast. Oh my god, I don't know how to say this. As told by the Algonquin people along the Atlantic coast of the United States and Canada. I do apologize if I said that wrong. Let me type this up and see how it's pronounced. A-L-G-O. Oh. Is it A-L-I-G-O-N? A-L-G-O-N. A-L-G-O-N-Q-U-I-N. Okay. So, here we go. Algonquin. See, I would have never got that. And I feel so bad for saying it wrong. Sorry. The Algonquin tribes. Which I told you. So they are seen as malevolent, cannibalistic, supernatural beings of great spiritual power who were strongly associated with winter, the north, and coldness, and as well as famine and starvation. Because when I tell you what I know about the Wendigo so far is that it is this freaking tall creature. I know that there is probably an evil spirit or something that follows along with this legend, obviously, because so basically how I can describe it is how I saw it in Until Dawn. It is literally something that takes over people's bodies and contorts it, and it makes them so tall. Their skin super freaking pale. They have no hair. It's literally the closest I can get to it is Gollum, but scarier. Okay, and it devours, obviously I said it's cannibalistic, but it devours anything and everyone in its sight. I believe in Until Dawn, it cannot see. So it survives off of hearing. It's pretty crazy. It is. But honestly, ask probably any Native American, and they could probably describe it better to you than I could. Or they might be a little hesitant to, because of just how horrible demonic it is. Okay. The Wendigo is mentioned really earlier and originates from the beliefs of the Algonquin people. Like I said, they're through the U.S. and Canada on the Atlantic coast, near the Atlantic coast. Though there were others who believed in the mythology of the Wendigo, more notable other than the Algonquin speaking tribes. I think that's Innu, the Cree. Oh my god. These words are going to kill me. Oh, goodness. OJI. Okay, there we go. Ojibwe. Sorry, I have to use the pronunciation on my computer for this because I don't want to say anything wrong. Of course, anyways, we're just gonna move on. There are other tribes who have seen this. Through some description that is varied depending on the tribe that you talk to. But there are some common attributes that they do share when describing this thing. The Algonquin people believe that humans who indulged on cannibalism were at possible risk of becoming a Wendigo. The legend appears to be reinforced by practice of cannibalism as a taboo. Legend itself lends its name to the disputed modern medical term Wendigo psychosis, which is supposed to be a culture-bound disorder. Okay. Wendigo was gaunt to be to the point of anyways, it's desiccated skin pulled tautly over its bones, with bones pushing out against the skin. So like I said, super freaking skinny, like just sunken in. Its complexion as ashy gray of death, so like super like pale. Eyes pushed back deep into the sockets, like you can't like see the eyes. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disintegrated from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody, unclean and unsuffering from separation of the flesh. The Wendigo gave off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition of death and corruption. Like I said, the appearance varies on several levels, and many people most see them as a 10-foot tall demon with enormous heads, gigantic teeth inside twisted mouths, and beady eyes. Does not sound fun at all. Others say the Wendigo either has the Wendigo either has no fur at all or has snow white fur. Often blood-stained and matted, bloody hair with a grotesque maw filled with sharp yellow fangs. I like the other one better. I mean, not to sit there and be like, yeah, the weird, creepy one with the gray freaking skin, 10 foot tall, with the freaking beady eyes and stuff sounds better, but, like, I don't know. The fur sounds like a yeti. Its hands and feet at the ends have, like, razor-sharp talons, which, yes, would make sense. And twisted lips that are freckled with blood, and their tongues are disgusting dark blue. On here, it doesn't say anything about them having horns, which a lot of people like to, like, describe them having horns, but they don't. Yeah, no, it just doesn't make any sense to me, you know? But that's all I have on the Wendigo. So, there's not a whole lot to it, not a whole lot of sightings and stuff. I mean, unless you go and look for this thing. I would not go and look for this thing. Ugh, heck no. Honey. Also, I am trying to eat dinner too, so I apologize. Next up is our last one, the Bunny Man. So the Bunny Man is an urban legend monster that was first seen in the 1900s newspaper article. It was a giant humanoid bunny or a man in a bunny costume holding a knife. Is mentioned in a cryptozoology book, Monsters of Virginia, and as well as Monsters of Maryland. So it is also from Virginia as well. Sorry, I'm like super hungry and I haven't eaten anything at all today, guys. Give me a second. In case you're wondering what I'm eating chicken because I like chicken. Yeah. So good. So, goodness. Anyways, so I know this legend one way. And how I know it is as, like, the Bunny Man was an actual person who put on a bunny costume and, like, killed kids during Halloween and shit. That's how I know him as. But this might be a little bit different from what I've heard before. Someone also said, like, it might have happened on Easter, too. Which would kind of make sense, you know, Easter bunny. Okay. Bunny Man is an insane murderer that has reports of killing or sightings only on Halloween 10 or 20 years at midnight under a bridge. It is said if you stay beside the bridge in the town of Virginia, Colchester, you will see him after 12 o'clock. There will be a bright blue light in the bridge in the bridge. Oh, yeah, I guess in the bridge. I would have said in the tunnel of the bridge, but whatever. Under the white light will appear a humanoid murders bunny with an axe. I thought it had a knife. Okay. Well, this is the legend, so I guess not everything's gonna be great. There have been very few sightings of this murderer. There is little that we know about him, except that some say he escaped from an insane asylum. The tale of Bunnyman started with a series of unsolved brutal murders that allegedly originated with an insane asylum that existed buried in the wilderness of Clifton, Virginia in the early 1900s. Just as the lunatics in the asylum were about to be brought to death, it had shut down. More and more people were beginning to move in the town where the asylum was. The mayor issued the head of the asylum to move the people somewhere else so they wouldn't escape. Ramshackle the town, according to the tale. In the autumn of 1904, the inmates were packed into 15 transports to move to a new facility. It is said sometime during the journey that to Lorton Prison, the driver of one of the vehicles violently swerved for the purpose of avoiding something in the road, and the transport careened off the road to a spectacular crash into the dark wilderness. Most of the inmates aboard, including the driver, were killed in the crash, but some survived and escaped into the surrounding landscapes, melting into the black night. So, yeah, there was an excavation for them, intensive manhunt that lasted for months. Authorities said to have apprehended two out of the 10 inmates that escaped. Oh my God. A man named Marcus A. Walster and Douglas J. Griffon. Police are still searching on foot. You'll never find me. You know it too. Signed the Bunnyman. Yeah, so great. It's great. It's freaking great, isn't it? That, somehow, some way, a freaking bus with all these inmates. That just sounds like the beginning of a horror movie that's been made. I think there is a movie about the Bunnyman. Don't quote me on that, though. So one evening on Halloween night in 1905, a group of teenagers went to Colchester Overpass near Clifton, Virginia, which is now known as the Bunnyman Bridge. The very form which Walster's lifeless corpse had been found hanging. I did not know that guy died. Oops, okay. That's new. It has said that the 3 teens would later be found dead, their throats slashed with long cuts up their abdomens, as if they had been gutted like a rabbit. What? It apparently caused quite an uproar at the time. Parents warning their kids not to go anywhere near the bridge. Do kids listen, though? No. And they sit there and they do that stupid thing where they're like, I dare you. And they're like, no, I dare you. And then they're like, I double dog dare you. And then they're like, oh, Another Halloween night, Bunnyman had allegedly struck again. This time 7 teens were said to be partying under the bridge, while a young woman named by Adrian? Who names their daughter Adrian? Okay, I guess Adrian was in the Rocky movies. Okay, never mind. Was still spooked by the stories and kept her distance. According to her account, there was a dim light which approached the bridge, followed by a blinding bright flash of light emanating from under it around midnight. After which she could hear the anguished screams of her companions wafting towards her through a chilly night air. When she went running to investigate, she found the bodies of all of her friends under the bridge, mutilated in a similar manner to the teens that had been found there the previous Halloween. According to the story, she apparently eventually be charged with the murder. Oh my god. This girl was charged with the murders and locked away in an asylum. Bravo, America. Bravo. Sounds great. The murders happen again and again. Wow. Imagine that. Miss Adrian had nothing to do with them. Well, maybe she might. You know what? It's one of those ones where it's like, maybe she might have, just to keep the legend going. But, like, I feel like Adrian was, like, this good girl, went to school, did her homework, and, like, she was only there because, like, one of her best friends was like, come on, it'll be fun, blah, blah, you know? And then, boom, you're charged with murder, and you're going to an insane asylum. But the other years that it had happened was in 1913, 1949, and again in 1976. Obviously, several bodies of teenagers were allegedly found hanging under the bridge, murdered, and mutilated in the same brutal manner. So, honestly, for me, this sounds more of like an unsolved mystery rather than a cryptid legend. But who knows, honestly. Because it says here that the last sighting was in 2013. I don't see anything in here for 2013. Oh yeah, it says the Bunny Man Massacre movie. Okay. So there is a movie. Yeah. So it's more of an urban legend than a cryptid, but I mean, what are you gonna do? But 2013, like, I know it's like 2022, and like next year it'll be 2023, and it'll be like, that was like 10 years ago, but that still is like pretty more present than any of the other cryptids that I've seen. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think. Urban legend or a cryptid? I mean, obviously, I think it's more of an urban legend, but I did enjoy, like, reading this because, like, I like serial killer documentaries, you know? Also, if you want me to, I can cover some serial killer stuff, too. I know, like, a lot of people do cover serial killers and stuff like that already, which is fine. I just don't want to keep repeating the same old, you know? But, if you have any cryptids that go on in your town or in your state or anywhere around you, let me know. I will definitely take a look into that, or let, you know, our page know, Big Heart Entertainment know. If that's something you're interested in doing, definitely do that. You can always find me on Twitter at Macy_Czirr. And then you can definitely go to follow our main account that has all of our podcast channels on it at bcardyt. Like I said, you can message them on anything that you have questions about having to do with the stuff I talk about. Keep all personal questions to yourself. Please and thank you. Just, to be considerate of my life, okay? Also, let me know if you want any more of these cryptids and stuff. I'm probably gonna do these for a while, but I do have a couple in mind that I will do, so, I'm gonna have to, remember which ones I've already done, so, yeah. Anyways, I have been your host for this wonderful, immaculate day, Macy Czirr, and this has been the Czirr Shit Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great weekend. Make smart decisions. Drink lots of water. And peace out, Girl Scouts.